Okay, now, when you get up in the morning, you're a Marine, you have your insignia, such as Lieutenant Colonel, Sergeant Major, or Captain, or PFC. You can put them on either collar, is that correct? Name 3 ranks, 3 sets of insignia in the Marine Corps you cannot interchange. Right. That's one. Right? Wrong. Since when is the chaplain's a Marine? Who got the other one? Who got that? Come up here. Okay, now, there are 4 jobs in the Marine Corps of the Marine Corps. Well, for instance, I'll give you a head start. Commandant of the Marine Corps. Can we tell you the other 3 jobs of the Marine Corps? Right, 2 more. I already said that. Okay, need 2 more. Commandant and Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. 2 more. Come on. I'll give you another one. Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps. Now there's only 1 left. He works only at 8 to 9. He's only one guy has this job. Works at Marine Barracks. Come on up here. What'd you say? Sit down. Who's the other one that spoke up? Who would have said that? Sorry, who said the color? Come on up here. Can any of you tell me what the Marine Corps models were before we had Semper Fidelis? Anybody?
Fight.
First. Right. Come on up here. That's a good one. Anybody else know it? Who said that? Come on up here. Fortitude and Evelyn. They just got in that magazine. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That wasn't even the strike zone. Okay. Anybody know we have a blood strike? Come in E4, you have a blood strike, right? What battle was that from? Who said Gibraltar? Come on up here. Can maybe tell me the name of a branch? Tell me the name of a branch of all the branches of the armed forces. Which one has earned an Oscar from Hollywood, an actual Oscar? Anybody know the name of that branch? Anybody? Why would I ask it? Anybody know the name of that branch? That's, you guys really let me down on that one. Who said? When he saw his flamethrower, who asked, "Where do you fix the bayonet?" Chesty. Who said that? Right there. Stand, coming up here. Yeah. Okay, now we won an Oscar for the movie, the documentary in Tarawa in 1943. Now, does anybody know the name of a Marine who on active duty won the Heisman Trophy? That has something to do with college football, doesn't it? The Heisman Trophy, 1943, won the Heisman Trophies on active duty, and he wasn't allowed to even go to New York and accept it because he was in boot camp. Anybody know the name of that Marine? Major award, forget this one. Anybody know the name of the school? Anything?
Angelo Berselli.
Stand up, come up here. Round of applause for this guy. Oh, you ought to knock you out. school you went to?
Notre Dame.
Good answer. At boot camp, they sent a telegram down to Parris Island. Oh, speaking of Parris Island, who here went to Parris Island? Look into my eyes. That's the only boot camp. I heard there was one on the West Coast. I was at a theater, West Coast, with a bunch of Marines at a theater like this, and I didn't know there was one. I'm still not sure there's a real boot camp on the West Coast. And Andrew Bertelli, after he won the Heisman Trophy, after his 7th game, he went to Parris Island. They asked him to come back, and they wrote, they sent a telegram, and they got a telegram back. The New York Athletic Club got a telegram back from Parris Island saying, Private Bertelli is in serious training. We have high hopes to make OCS. Permission denied. 1946, Private Bertelli, now a Captain Bertelli, comes in his office, they called him Greens then, back to the New York Athletic Club, receives the Heisman Trophy as a Marine captain with a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star from Saipan and Iwo Jima. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. Now we're going to this is a Marine who just got the Andrew, come on up here. This guy is more than a ringer. What do you have?
Couple births.
Okay, just stand right down here. Hey, tell me, you read something? Anybody here? You're not included. You're out of all the rest of the questions. Anybody know the definition of etymology? Etymology. Raise your hand. Etymology.
Study of origin of
Who
words.
said that? Stand up.
Give it to him. Give me that back.
Etymology is the study of words, right? Can you, can you read that first word to me? There is
Colonel.
there's no R there, is there? Okay. The next word, read that.
Corpse.
Looks like corpse to me. How about that last one, Bowie City? How do you say that?
Lieutenant.
Okay, how do you say the next one?
Kansas City.
Butte City.
Way.
Way City, but it looks like Bowie to me. How about this, this one down here, this French one down here in the middle? How do you say that?
Versailles.
It's actually Versailles. And, okay, how about this one?
Colbert?
What of the city? What is that?
Louisville?
Is the capital of Kentucky Louisville or Louisville?
Louisville.
Well, always in Frankfurt for me. The Kentucky, I almost call it Louisville, but the capital of Kentucky is Frankfurt. You have to sit down. I wrote an awful lot of stories, about 150 no one knows. Then in April, I wrote a story about John Archer Lejeune. I went down to his hometown, Deep Parish, Louisiana. Look at my eyes. Correct pronunciation, General Lejeune's name. Look at my eyes. Rock hard, incontrovertibly, Lejeune. And it's been messed up for a long time. We get it straightened out. So, after that story, 2 generals called me, one ABC anchorman, someone remembers his family. They're all great. We're going to the time machine. The ABC anchorman called me, and he had done a story on General Lejeune's daughter back at BMI. I'll tell you about BMI.
As they call it, Camp Lejeune. Camp Lejeune.
I grew up in Marine as a Camp Lejeune. We would say it just like that. And then later on the air, I used Lejeune like everybody else did. But 23 years ago, an old radio program director corrected me. He said the Marine base was named for a famous general who came out of the Cajun country of Louisiana, and that it was pronounced Lejeune. Well, I've used that ever since. But since I get so much flack about it, both inside and outside the station, I got real interested in the name and also in the man. So before I capitulate, I'd like to share with you my story about one of America's greatest military heroes. They took us on a Sky 5 trip into the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia and the prestigious Virginia Military Institute that spawned the careers of Generals Stonewall Jackson and George Marshall. It's also where John Archer Lejeune came to serve as superintendent in 1929, after his years as commandant of the Marine Corps. An important building at BMI now bears his name. I talked with the deputy superintendent. General, what do you call this building back here? This is Lejeune Hall. You know, down in North Carolina, everybody says Lejeune. Why do you say Lejeune? We say Lejeune because that was the man's name. The general had 3 daughters. One of them lives near the campus of BMI.
Has
anyone ever told you that that you mispronounce your own name?
No, because I don't.
Even Peter Jennings says Lejeune.
He does?
The pictures in Miss Lejeune's scrapbook tell the story of her famous father. He was a graduate of the Naval Academy, but took a commission in the Marine Corps. It was in World War I and on the battlefields of France that he distinguished himself as a fighter and a leader of the 2nd Division. It is said that his men loved him. The French admired him too for his skill and courage because he could speak French fluently. Some writers later called him the greatest leatherneck of them all. When it was over, he would lead his famous 2nd Division in a victory parade down New York's 5th Avenue. Miss Laura remembers.
Red Cross lady or somebody rushed out the street with a bunch of crowds and scared the horse. And all my son signed Larry.
Some years later, the Secretary of the Navy, Josephus Daniels, would name him the Marine Corps' 13th Commandant. His last active years were spent here at BMI, training other young men for military service. Shortly after his death in 1942, the largest Marine base in the world was named for him in Jacksonville, North Carolina. It's the home of his beloved 2nd Division. American hero, John Archer Lejeune.
Each year during our birthday celebration.
One more question, one more quiz question. When I was in the Marine Corps, back in World War I and all that, we had tropical warriors uniforms, khaki uniforms, remember those, Colonel? And we had garrison cover, fish cutters with, remember those? Years ago. Well, there's still some Marines on active duty wearing that tropical worsted cover with the Marine emblem on active duty. Can anybody tell me who they are? All group of Marines are wearing tropical worsted cover, active duty with the Marine emblem. I see somebody in the face when they're visiting. Anybody? What? No? No. Yeah, let me have that for a moment. Every year the museum picks the #1 recipient, like recently John Glenn, Jim Mattis, George Schultz, very prominent Marines to give out an award for leadership. And the leadership is exactly like an Oscar, 13 inches high, just like 13 combat, 8.6 pounds, just like that rifle from World War I. Anybody know the name of that rifle from World War I?
M1 Garand.
Who said that? John American
Enfield.
Who said Springfield? Springfield what? Okay, so anyway, we award this every year. This is identical, it's done by the same company in Chicago makes Oscars. It weighs 8.6 pounds like the rifle, and we're gonna let our Butterfingers here pass it around. Here. You can take pictures if you want. And 1903, Springfield. Take the weight. Okay, now let's see. I want you to tell me who that is up there.
General Bob Miller.
What number commandant was it?
The 37th Commandant.
When was this video made?
November 10th, 2010.
That's why you're a sergeant.
Listen to the words of our 13th Commandant, General John A. LeJeune.
John Archer LeJeune was probably one of the most important, if commandants, one of the most important Marines of all time. And I can sincerely say, in my opinion, that if it wasn't for John Archer LeJeune's leadership of the Marine Corps after he became commandant in the 1920s, all the battles that occurred in World War II probably might have been Army actions.
Back in time, to the times of people like General John LeJeune.
One of the greatest leaders we've ever had is General LeJeune. If you think about it, he turned the Corps to the Corps that we have today. And we can be very proud and should remember that great legacy of his.
Yes, you ought to join Leatherneck and Gazette, that's our professional association, has been since General LeJeune, so you have to be there.
John A. LeJeune, 13th Commandant, actually, he was commanding general for Quantico before he became Commandant. And you know, Quantico itself, the crossroads of Quantico.
The sergeant here is going to read a paragraph or two from a book that came out a couple years ago. There's 2 books on LeJeune's life. This one's got to take the answer from the book. Charlie Niemeyer there, history division guy, that's the history division, Marine Colonel retired. And every other historian will tell you that if John LeJeune had not been around, had not been commissioned a Marine, you fellows wouldn't have those snappy haircuts or sharp uniforms. The Army was trying to dissolve the Marine Corps at the end of World War I. And they'll testify every battle in the Pacific. You know, flag raising thing would have been an Army action. This was a disgusting press release in read.
Everybody hear me? It's probably going to be one of the most ridiculous things that you guys hear all day, all week, all month. This is a press release from the Associated Press of June 1945. Soldiers of the 27th Infantry Division, commanded by Major General George W. Greiner, Jr., along with 2 other U.S. Army divisions, have landed on Iwo Jima Island in the Pacific. One company of soldiers from the 165th Infantry Regiment reached the top of a high extinct volcano dominating the island on D+3 to raise the American flag. This flag-raising scene was captured by AP photographer